Hello dear friends, my name is Clive Thompson. Today, silver prices are soaring, even with the US market closed. We're going to dig into why this is happening, who is buying, and what might happen next. Let's start with the headline today. Today, silver smashed through the $40 an ounce level, jumping over 2.5%. It's now well over $40.70. Now, a rise of even 0.5% for silver is pretty wild in the world of precious metals. 1% is very unusual. 2.5% is a big rise. Now, today, US and Canadian markets are closed for Labor Day. Normally, when US markets are closed, things should be quiet. But not today. With North American markets closed, it's the Europeans who are driving the buying action. Now, here's what's interesting. Europeans have been battling US sellers for a while. Most of the silver is owned by Americans, but rising prices push some to sell to meet the European demand. So why are the Europeans buying? Well, it comes down to trust. They trust silver and gold more than the dollars when times are uncertain. The trouble is with the dollar, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. With silver, there's not a lot can happen. With gold, there's not a lot can happen. So who's putting their money into silver right now? It's mostly the big institutions with deep pockets, the kind of people who have access to insider market forecasts, the most elite forecasts of the economy and everything else that you can get. And these will be very well-connected people. How do we know that these are well-connected people? Well, we can see the kind of silver which is being bought. Let's have a look at this COMEX delivery notices chart here. I'll just bring that back up again. It's here. There we are. Now, as you can see, the COMEX deliveries in the month, and we're talking about the silver one on the right-hand side, the COMEX deliveries in the month of September, this is the 1st of September, and these notices were given on Friday. The notices for delivery of silver is 8,286 contracts on the first day. That's more than the entire September last year. And you can see by looking back month over month, if we go back through the months, you can see that every month, more or less, with the exception of July, a lot more silver was called for delivery than is usual. Now, this is not mom and pop stuff. Each of these silver bars are 5,000 ounces. With silver at $40, we're talking about $200,000 a bar. So who is taking delivery? It's not mom and pop. It's big institutions who can take thousands of bars worth $200,000 each. And if we look over to the gold side of things here, you can see that in August, and every month before that, with the exception of June, the number of bars called for delivery were massively greater than the previous year. So someone is also taking delivery of the physical gold bars. So what can we conclude? Well, we have to conclude that this is some very important buyer who knows which way the wind blows, and this is the sort of buyer who doesn't like to lose money. So when the heavyweights are betting on something, and they're betting on both gold and silver, as we just saw, the smaller investors should be paying attention. So if you smell smoke, and I smell smoke, you don't wait for someone to yell, "Fire!" before you start moving. Now, we're going to look at some other reasons behind the surge in silver in particular. Gold, we know the story. It's central bank buying. It's distrust of the dollar. It's the sound money that people can hold, and it's had a history of 5,000 years. But silver's got some peculiarities about it. So what I'm going to do now is look at the Silver Institute just to see the supply and demand. And here we are. That's the Silver Institute. You can see that the mined production is going down, down, down year after year after year. We have less mine production now in 2025 than we had a decade ago in 2016. Yet the demand is going up, up, up. We have more demand now in 2025, 1,148, than we had in 2016. And you can see that there came a point, which was about 2021, where the demand for silver for the first time ever exceeded the supply of silver. And that continued in 2022, continued in 2023, continued in 2024, and it's continuing this way this year, where we have a surplus demand over and above the supply. So where's the difference coming from? Well, the difference has to come from you and I. In other words, the price has to be high enough to incite people to recycle their silver, to sell it back to the system so that it can be absorbed in the main use of silver, which is the industrial use in electronics and electrical things. So why isn't production rising despite the higher prices? The reason is because most of the silver comes as a byproduct from other mining operations, especially gold and copper. Now, here's a fun fact. According to the Silver Institute, we're buying 204 million ounces of silver for investment every year, this year in particular. I mean, every year, really. That's one 1 ounce coin for every 45 people on the planet. Just imagine what would happen if everyone wanted to own 1 ounce of silver. Do you have your fair share? Now, we've got a little bit of breaking news from a couple of days ago on August the 25th. That's 6 days ago. And I'm going to bring that up now to have a look at. And there we are. It's on the screen in front of you. The Department of the Interior has released the draft 2025 list of critical minerals. And there's some new additions. Potash, silicon, copper, silver, rhenium and lead were recommended for inclusion in the list, and arsenic and tellurium were recommended for removal. Now, what does that mean? It means silver is going onto the critical minerals list for the first time ever. Well, maybe not since the 1950s. We don't know that far back, but it's going onto the critical minerals list, which means the USA will now have to build a stockpile of silver. Now, they did have a stockpile back in the 1950s, 60s and 70s, which they sold off by the 1980s. And that stockpile was 2.1 billion ounces of silver. Now, to put that in perspective, 2.1 billion ounces of silver is more than 2 years' supply. You see here, we've got an annual mine production of 900 million ounces. So 2.1 billion that they used to have is more than double that. Now, I don't think they'll need to buy that much, and they certainly couldn't. It would be impossible. But if they start to buy any amount of silver for their stockpile, it will push the price higher. And I think that's what's being anticipated as we speak. So the price of silver and gold today are really going crazy. Now, I'm just going to have a quick look at what they're doing as we speak. So we're going to go across now. We're looking at the price of silver here. This is a live price. It's, as I speak, it's $40.75, $40.75. The price of silver is up $1 since this morning. A dollar rise is very, very unusual. It's up more than 2.5%. And if we go down to gold, to look at gold here, go here, go down to look at gold. There we are. We can see that gold is also up $29 at an all-time record, 3,476. That's an all-time record. So US is closed. Who's buying it? It must be the Europeans. If you look just here, you can see that white line on the screen, this white line, which is just here. That white line represents the close of business on Friday and the start of business today. So you can see it was rising. The gold price has been rising day after day after day. It's been taking days to rise, but today it shot up again to the record. The record was just above here, about $3,450, and we've shot to a new record. And as far as silver is concerned, it's the record for about 10 years. So if I'm looking here at the silver chart, there we go. So there, the white line shows you the move today. But funnily enough, it's not just gold and silver moving. What's moving much, much faster are the gold and silver miners. And here I've got a list of gold shares. It says gold shares, but it's actually gold and silver shares. And I'm just going to run my mouse down and look at the various charts. As you can see, a lot of them have leapt up either today or last Friday. Most of these will be last Friday because the US markets are closed now. So we'll just go through some of these companies as we speak. So let's have a look what we're on now. I only see the symbols, but most of these are gold mining companies. That's Bitcoin, we'll forget that. CG, what's that? Centerra Gold. I'll just say the names as we go through them here. So that's Centerra Gold. That was Endeavour Mining. That's Endeavour Mining as well, in different currency. Franco-Nevada, Fresnillo, Van Eck Gold Miners ETF, the GDX as it's otherwise known. That's the GDXY, that's an income-paying version of GDX, don't worry about that. GDXJ, that's the juniors of gold miners. This is Gold Fields. This is Gold Royalty Corp. So you see that was up 10%, 10% in a single day. Here we have Harmony Gold Mining, up 6.4% in a day. Harmony again. Hochschild Mining. Hochschild is quoted in London in sterling. It's up 6.76 today. 6.76% that was. Integra Resources up 4.67%. Kinross Gold up 3.36%. Lion One Metals, forget that. Mag Silver, that's being taken over. Let's forget that one. McEwen up. That's run by Rob McEwen, who's got the fame for making Goldfield. Was it Goldfields? Anyway, he turned a very small company into a very large company, up 4.5%. Newmont up 1.96%. Most of these are the rises on Friday because the US market's closed. All royalties, 29.9%. Royal Gold up 2.2%. Kinbaya Gold is a small mining company which is finding veins of gold but hasn't started digging it out yet. So Kinbaya is up 1.56%. Obviously that one could be a very leveraged one if they start to dig it up. Sibanye Stillwater, who is silver mine amongst other things, 2.7% up today. Then we got Santa Cruz Mining up 2.89%. Global X Silver Miners up 3.11%. Global X Silver Miners up 4.61 in a different currency there. Amplify Junior Silver Miners, that's the SILJ, representing a lot of junior silver miners, up 3.77%. SILV is the Global X Silver Miners Trust, that's up 5.29% on the day. In Swiss francs that was, sorry, let's look at the, is that today? I think that must be today. Yeah, that would be today's price in Switzerland, up 5.29%. But in the closed market on Friday, it was up 4.82%. Let's go back there. Yeah, so it was playing in Switzerland. They're playing catch up with Friday's close, and then we've got that's in euro, same thing in euros. SRB, Serbai Gold, Sibanye Stillwater, rising like a rocket. Silver Corp Metals, that one's up 4.08 today, or on Friday. Silver Corp Metals up 4.31 in different currency. Torex Gold Resources up 4.18% in Canadian dollars. That's the US Rand exchange rate, forget that. Wheaton Precious Metals up 3.28. West Red Lake Gold, forget that, up 5.43. That's a platinum thing. Kerr Mining, silver miner, very well known company, up 4.7%. Zhejiang Mining in Hong Kong, quote, but Chinese mining coming up 7.74%. Kingsgate Consolidated up 6.29% in Australian dollars. I guess that was this morning, playing catch up with Friday in New York. Northern Star Resources in Australia up 6.41%. Ora Banda Mining up 6.51%. The Australian shares are doing well here. That's palladium, platinum. Perseus Mining in Australia up 6.35%. Ramelius Resources, which was one I recommended about a month ago when I did a podcast about gold miners. That's gone up from 230 to 330, and it's since I recommended it's about up 4.73% today. And then we have West Gold Resources, which was another one I recommended at the beginning of August, about a month ago, in the video called Gold Miners. You've got a Gold Miners alert. That one's risen from 250 to 350, and today it's 371, up 7.85%. So as you can see, these gold miners are rocketing upwards. There's another one. What's that one? That one, ALTN. Oh, that's Altin Gold PLC, which is is it Kazakhstan they're mining in? Not sure. I think they're mining in Kazakhstan. They're a very cheap company on a price to ratio of 2 or 3 times, up 10.73% today in London, traded in London. So 846, I guess that's priced in pence, £8.46 a share. And as you can see, that's really rocketed up today. So there we are. We've got a real bull market going on. So the question is, how can you get involved? Well, first of all, if you look at the links, look below this video, you'll see I have 2 affiliate links. One is Gold Bullion Partners from London. So if you're in the UK or anywhere in Europe and you want to buy a lot of gold or a lot of silver, they're your best partner. And then the second link is ITM Trading. And they are in the USA, so that's for US investors. If you want to buy gold or silver, they'll be able to talk to you. In both cases, I put the phone number in the link below. There's a link and there's a description of the number for Gold Bullion Partners and ITM Trading. So you can ring them up and discuss your situation. And if you decide to go ahead, they'll be able to sell you some gold or silver. The other way you can get involved, apart from buying physical, is to buy coins or small bars. You go to a coin shop. Now you're going to pay a bigger premium if you're buying a small quantity. So if you go to a local coin dealer, you might pay as much as 50% premium for a small silver coin, like a 1 ounce coin, or maybe it'd be 20%, or it might be, if it's a bullion coin, might be very little at all. But it depends on your country. In some countries there's VAT. In England especially, there's VAT to pay on silver, but not on gold. So almost everywhere in the world, gold is VAT free of sales tax, but silver in many places is subject to VAT or sales tax. So bear that in mind, depending on where you live. Having said that, you might find it worth paying the sales tax and the premium to have something which is small and manageable, and which will probably hold its value in no time at all. Because if you look at what's happening to the silver price, it looks like it's going to carry on going up. And, you know, a lot of people think that the $50, we're at $40 at the moment, a lot of people think that $50 is easy peasy from here. And, you know, I'm hearing many people talk about silver going into the hundreds of dollars. I mean, I myself have done a video suggesting that under a particular set of circumstances, it could easily rise well above $100. And I won't go into the details. You watch the video if you want to find out what that would be. Another way to get into silver or gold is through exchange-traded funds. in most countries, you will find an exchange-traded fund registered in your own country, which holds physical gold or physical silver. The advantage of buying through an exchange-traded fund is it's easy to buy and sell. In other words, you've got a very narrow spread between bid and ask price. You can sell it at any time when the markets are open, and the money is credited to your account almost immediately. The disadvantage is they've got your gold, you don't. So you need that. If you want that gold, you need their permission, and you need to be dealing in a very large size to get it, which means unless you're a multi-millionaire demanding that sort of size of gold and physical physical silver, they probably won't cooperate to give you any. But there are big institutions which put gold in and out of these ETFs on a day-by-day basis according to the supply and demand. Another way to invest in gold and silver is look at those mining stocks, which we've been looking at just now. As you can see from the stocks we looked at, some of them are really going through the roof. And the last way you could deal in gold and silver is through the futures market. Now, I do not recommend it. I wouldn't do it myself. It's a leverage market. If you have a certain amount of margin, you might lose it all, and you might lose more than that in some situations. So it's really for very, very experienced investors, people who know what they're doing and very deep pockets. I don't recommend it. I wouldn't do it. And the one thing I hate about futures is they have an expiry date. And in my experience, when something has an expiry date, it always seems to expire at a bad price for me and a good price for someone else. So that's basically how you can get involved in gold and silver. Now, those metals are literally going bonkers as we speak. So if you want to buy some, I recommend that you do so now before the supplies of physical run out. If you want physical coins or physical bars, pick up the phone to one of those links below this video and see if you can get it before they run out. And I haven't heard any of them running out, but you never know. What I can see is the demand is definitely increasing, and you only have to see what's happening to the prices of silver, gold, and gold mining and silver mining stocks. So the smart money is moving in already. Are you part of the smart money? Are you going to follow the wise money, or are you going to wait until everyone else figures it out before you? Ladies and gentlemen, if you liked this video, I'd be really grateful for your follow, your like, your smile. I'll be happy to answer any questions, and do subscribe if you'd like more videos like this. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.